Our MC wanted to teach the military personnel the body refining technique, so he showed them a trial through a robot. All the high-ranking and low-ranking officers were seated in the room, watching our MC's training movements. Among them, one military person, astonished by the movements, said, "These seemingly simple movements, just by observing with a naked eye and simulating them in my mind, I can already feel countless wonderful insights surging forth." Just then, another military person stood up in excitement and exclaimed with joy, "Not only that, even my own martial arts have been enlightened. It feels as if a new world has opened before me." After that, everyone in the room started shouting in excitement. The simple movement our MC had just demonstrated looked incredibly powerful. While it might have been simple for him, for others, it was an overwhelmingly powerful technique. Overcome with enthusiasm, they all stood up together, their shouts echoing in unison almost as if they were all shouting, "Yes!" Seeing everyone shouting in excitement, a smile appeared on Central Marshal's face as well. Laughing, he addressed everyone. "It seems you have all felt it. That's right, this body refining technique may look simple, but in reality, practicing it is absolutely exquisite." Then, he paused the video displaying our MC's movement technique behind him and continued speaking. "Its effectiveness is at least 100 times stronger than the current body refining 24 forms we use, and when it comes to unlocking the human body's potential, it is also 100 times greater." The military personnel seated in the room were overjoyed upon hearing this. This technique would serve as a sharp blade for them, a powerful asset in the new era of the martial arts world. At this moment, this martial art was nothing short of an immeasurable treasure, something that would prove extremely beneficial to them. Among them, one military officer was deep in thought, his mind filled with images of gold coins. This technique could even open the doors to immense wealth. As this realization struck him, he recalled our MC and continued speaking with admiration. "Truly, the heavens have blessed our dragon nation. Only someone who stands at the absolute peak of martial arts, like Sheng, could overlook everything from above and create such a magnificent martial arts technique." Just then, one of the men standing among them raised his hand and, full of confusion, directly asked the Central Marshal whether this precious body-building technique would truly be promoted throughout the entire army. Hearing this question, the Central Marshal turned to look at him. The man, now slightly disheartened, continued speaking, explaining that once this martial art was implemented across the military, it could soon be leaked. "I fear that," he started to say, but before he could finish, the Central Marshal smiled and responded, "This is the true magnanimity that only a supreme martial sage can possess. Sheng has already made it clear this martial arts technique is meant to benefit the entire planet." As soon as the people in the room heard the Central Marshal's words, they were utterly stunned. No one had any words to say. It was as if the entire room had fallen into a deep silence. Then, among them, a military officer, feeling a bit disheartened, sighed and said, "So, I have lived for over 100 years in vain. Sheng is the one who embraces the vast cosmos, whose eyes gaze upon the galaxy itself. Not only is his martial prowess unmatched, but even his foresight is far beyond mine." Hearing this, the Central Marshal burst into laughter, his voice filled with excitement as he shouted, "Everyone, we should all consider ourselves fortunate, because we are about to witness a new era, personally forged by the god of our dragon nation's military." After this, the story shifts directly to the Eastern Military Region's military camp, where we see Liu Kaiming immersed in his training. He had already put in a tremendous amount of effort. His entire body was drenched in sweat. Just then, someone suddenly came running toward him, shouting his name. Hearing this, Liu Kaiming stopped and turned toward the approaching person, directly asking, "What's the matter? Did something happen?" The man rushed up to him, excitement evident on his face, and said, "There's some amazing news." "No, wait, not just one, but two amazing pieces of news. Which one do you want to hear first?" The excitement on the spectacled man's face was so overwhelming that just by looking at him, it was clear that both pieces of news were incredible. Seeing this, Liu Kaiming looked at him and said, "Tell me the first one." In response, the spectacled man, bursting with excitement, exclaimed, "The first great news, our military has given birth to a war god, a martial saint level powerhouse, the 4th 9th level martial saint of the Dragon Nation." The moment Liu Kaiming heard this, he was utterly shocked. Without wasting a second, he asked in disbelief, "Do you know who this divine figure is?" To this, the spectacled man replied, "It hasn't been officially revealed. Some speculate that it might be General Lai Yang, Lu Sheng. But a year ago, after Lu Sheng vanished in Binhai, there has been no news of him, so I think it's unlikely." The spectacled man was about to continue speaking when Liu Kaiming suddenly interrupted him, shouting in excitement, "Perfect! Tell me the second one." Hearing Liu Kaiming's eagerness, the spectacled man, just as excited, immediately started explaining. "The second one is even better. The military has introduced a new body refining technique, said to be created by the war god himself. Its effectiveness is hundreds of times greater than the techniques we practiced before. Many soldiers across different war zones have broken through their martial bottlenecks on the very first day of training, their strength soaring." With an enthusiastic grin, he added, "Look, I brought it with me. It's all stored on this USB drive." As soon as Liu Kaiming saw the USB drive in the spectacled man's hand, his excitement soared. Placing a firm hand on his shoulder, he stepped forward and said, "Then what are we waiting for? Let's head to the martial arts room and practice together." The spectacled man laughed and nodded eagerly. "Yes, let's train together." With that, the two of them quickly left for the training hall. Meanwhile, our MC was watching them from a distance, having overheard their conversation. Seeing the joy on their faces, he, too, couldn't help but smile with satisfaction. Just then, a man approached our MC, bowing respectfully before saying, "Liu Kaiming has been working very hard. His strength is already close to reaching the 2nd level martial warrior rank. Among the new recruits of his batch, he is one of the most outstanding performers. As per your instructions, he has never been assigned to high-risk missions." Hearing this, our MC nodded slightly and replied, "In terms of resources, take extra care of him in the future, but make sure he doesn't notice it." The man, slightly confused by the instruction, hesitated for a moment before simply responding, "Yes, sir." It seemed he didn't fully grasp the deeper meaning behind our MC's words. Without explaining further, our MC turned and began walking away. As he left, he pondered to himself, strengthening the lower and mid-level forces. No matter how you look at it, it's a good thing. Ordinary soldiers, if they gain even a little more power to resist the abyssal beasts, their chances of survival will also increase. His story then shifts forward in time, where the military trainees were rigorously practicing the technique given by our MC and continuously reaching new realms of power. Anyone who trained using his method found themselves breaking through their limits effortlessly. Some had advanced to level 3, while others had pushed even further into higher levels. Every trainee who successfully broke through using our MC's physical training technique considered it nothing short of extraordinary. They were completely in awe of its sheer power and effectiveness. At this moment, a wave of joy had spread among the trainees. Everyone who was practicing this technique was ecstatic, their excitement evident in their expressions. Amidst them, a few trainees could be seen laughing joyfully, exclaiming, "With a war god overseeing our military, from now on, even when we face martial saint disciples, we will never have to feel inferior again." Whenever Lu Sheng's name was praised or mentioned, he seemed to sense it a strange and mystical feeling, as if he possessed the divine abilities of legendary deities. Then we see our MC, who could feel the emotions of the people. Sensing this, he murmured to himself, "So, this is what it means to be worshipped by thousands, to be remembered for generations. Just like in the novels I read in my past life, where gods drew their power from their followers. It truly makes me feel as if I have been touched by divinity." At this moment, our MC unlocked a mystical talent known as rebirth of flesh and blood. As soon as he sensed this newfound power, He murmured to himself, "No, I shouldn't strive to become a god. Instead, I should become a symbol. Martial arts and I must become one. And when that happens, every martial artist in this world, no, in the entire universe, will naturally become my followers." As soon as these words left his lips, his magical power surged, lifting him into the air effortlessly. Around him, streams of energy resembling scorching lava erupted, radiating an overwhelming and terrifying presence of force beyond imagination. The story then shifts to Wusheng Tower, where we see Tan Zhongyu in the midst of his intense training. As he pushes himself, his aura surges outward, clearly visible around him. However, just then, his eyes suddenly snap open, and his concentration breaks. The technique he was attempting fails, leaving him frustrated and disappointed. Placing his hand on the ground, he murmurs bitterly, "Our paths were never the same. Otherwise, we wouldn't have parted ways back then. Who would have thought that the reckless brat from before could now defeat me so effortlessly? Truly, fate is unpredictable." Tan Zhongyu places his hand on his chest, trying to feel his Tao heart. Ever since his defeat at the hands of our MC, his Tao heart had completely cracked, leaving behind a deep, almost irreparable wound in his martial path. The impact of that loss was so immense that recovering from it seemed nearly impossible. Frustration flared in his eyes as he gritted his teeth and muttered angrily, "Even if you're stronger than me, that doesn't mean your path is the right one." Lu Sheng is barely in his 20s, yet he has reached a level of invincibility in the mortal realm. If anyone tells me he didn't have some extraordinary encounters, I simply refuse to believe it. As Tan Zhongyu recalled our MC's words, they echoed in his mind like a thunderous declaration. "What did you tell me back then? If one day I become a martial saint, I will shatter the high towers, break the old martial traditions, and spread martial arts across the world." The mere memory of those words made him burst into laughter, his voice filled with mockery and disbelief. "Ridiculous. Lu Sheng, do you truly believe you can selflessly share all your martial arts and knowledge with the world? Are you telling me you would willingly give up everything you've worked for?" As soon as he let out this frustration, he calmed down, his breath steadied, and he slowly rose to his feet. His eyes burned with renewed conviction as he repeated his oath to himself. Right now, he is stronger than me, so his Tao is considered correct. But if one day I surpass him, then my Tao will be the one true path. As Tan Zhongyu clenched his fist tightly, his thoughts drifted toward our MC's future. A sinister gleam flickered in his eyes as he muttered under his breath, "In just a few months, Lu Sheng will face his greatest calamity." He was reckless enough to seize all the energy crystals for himself. The moment the guides descend, he will be doomed without a doubt. Just as these dark thoughts swirled in his mind, one of his subordinates hurried toward him, urgency evident in his steps. "Sir, Lu Sheng has made significant progress." Tan Zhongyu's eyebrows arched in intrigue as he turned toward the man. "Tell me, what progress has Lu Sheng made?" The subordinate bowed slightly before answering in a firm voice. "Yu Sheng has successfully promoted the new body-building technique across the entire military. The results are nothing short of astounding." The moment Tan Zhongyu heard this revelation, his eyes widened in shock. His expression hardened, disbelief creeping into his voice. "What did you just say?" The subordinate swiftly brought up a screen, displaying everything to Tan Zhongyu. His voice was firm yet laced with disbelief as he explained, "Lu Sheng has spread his martial arts to the public. Now, anyone willing to learn can access it freely." As Tan Zhongyu watched the footage unfold before him, his body trembled. His legs gave out, and he collapsed to his knees, his mind drowning in a whirlwind of shock and unease. With wide, disbelieving eyes, he muttered under his breath, his voice almost shaking. He was truly willing to share everything he had learned, to pass it on without hesitation. If such a mind cannot be called extraordinary, then what else can? Seeing our MC's achievement, Tan Zhongyu felt immense shame in himself, and at this moment, He was also scared because most people had now started worshipping RMC, which led to a decrease in the number of people worshipping Tan Zhongyu. Seeing this, Tan Zhongyu fell into depression, thinking, I have lost. I am a much more inferior person than him. So, friends, this chapter comes to an end. What will happen next? We'll uncover it in the next chapter. Don't forget to rate this chapter out of 10 in the comments. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye. What are your predictions for the next chapter? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And most importantly, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.